Welcome back. This is the morning show. We are on the last leg from the headquarters in Enugu. Hopefully, in another few minutes, we'll connect to Abuja. But before then, we have Mazi Dr. Paul Akamnonu, who is in the United States. He's a professor of leadership studies, patron, Arundiziogo Patriotic Union, North America. Good to have you. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
I'm glad to be here.
Okay, just give us an overview of Nigerians in the United States and how they're, receiving, and trying to merge the culture of the African continent and that of the culture of, the Americas, and how they're able to adapt and how they're also able to communicate back into Nigeria. These cultures change.
Thank you. Nigerians in diaspora, with respect to the United States, is where I'm going to limit my discussion. And when we talk of Nigerians in diaspora, that's a broad term. So we have, in the United States, we have people from all the segments of Nigeria, the North, the Western Nigeria, and Eastern Nigeria. Typically, we don't have many people of Northern Nigeria in the United States. They are here, but during the time I would call the mass exodus, in the 70s and 80s through the early 90s, when many Nigerians immigrated to the United States, it was typically the Western Nigerians, mainly the Yorubas, and the Eastern Nigerians, mainly the Igbos. So when we talk of cultural propagation, we mean, how do we propagate the culture of Nigeria here in diaspora? So I'll limit my discussion to the Yorubas briefly, and then the Igbos from the eastern part of Nigeria. The Yorubas, let me make a brief remark about the Yoruba. The Yorubas in the United States are as vast as the Igbos. So the Yorubas is believed to have come to the United States through the transatlantic slave trade. And mostly they settled in the islands in Central America, Brazil, and then the islands, Cuba, Grenada, St. Lucia, and St. Lucia, Grenada, and those areas, the islands. So the Yorubas today in those places, the Yorubas, of course, believe in their Orisa. So most of these people most of these Yorubas that settled through the transatlantic slave trade, they still practice religious, Yoruba religion. And I have quite some number of friends. The New Year festival, which they call Egungun, E-G-U-N-G-U-N, Egungun, is a very big festival for Yorubas in the United States and in the islands. When I say the islands, I mean Caribbean islands. So here is a lot of cultural display and everything. Besides that, the Yorubas in the United States, they do their Orisa, and most of these cultural festivals, they have, through the development centers and through online, they teach all the Yoruba immigrants a lot about Yoruba cultures and everything. So they do that for a long time. It's been ongoing. I've been able to visit their New Year Egungun. And on a few occasions, I was in their centers, in their religious worship centers, where they do their Orisa and everything. So that is very, very tremendous whenever they do it. They invite friends, which As a socialist, I have a lot of friends across. So, but my main discussion today will center on the Igbo diasporans. The Igbos also, let me start with what we call there's an organization called CISA, CISA, which stands for Council of Igbo States in America. CISA often organizes the yearly Festival of Arts and Culture. The greatest hit, am I with you? You hearing me right?
Yes, yes, I'm hearing you. Go ahead,
Okay,
please.
okay, okay. The greatest of the Igbo Festival of Arts and Culture was the one celebrated in 2019, which was the sixth. It started gradually and kept advancing. So that was in 2019, in July 2019. It was organized in a place called the Igbo Farms, which is located in Staunton, Virginia, state of Virginia. Why Staunton? Again, like the Yorubas, many Igbos were sold through the transatlantic slave trade. And I don't want to take you too back into history. From the cave, the Arochukwu merchants, through Bende, which is currently Uzakole. They gathered these slaves and deported them and sold them, and they were taken by ships through the ports of Calabar, Brass, ports of Calabar and Brass. And then most of them did not get into the United States, but the Yoruba settled mainly in the islands, Caribbean islands, and Central America. So these Igbos, their first landing was in Virginia, these slaves, and they helped their slave masters. Their contribution in the state of Virginia here is very tremendous. They helped in the development of state of Virginia. So in that respect, the Council of Igbo States in America developed this farm, the Igbo farm. And in 2019, it was a big hit. And every year, this CISA moves this Igbo Festival of Arts and Culture around. For this year, it will be holding in Georgia, in Brunswick, Georgia, from in July again this year. And during this festival, there's something called recognition and naming ceremony. This implies that African Americans who have located their routes or roots come over to identify with their people. So we take this thing seriously. So bringing awareness to the African American community about Nigerian culture. That's why the Igbo Festival of Arts and Culture of Nigerian State. So many African Americans who have developed their origin are given names, Igbo names. Most of them, like Nwachukwu, the ladies are given Lolo, so, and so. And they're very happy. Later on, I will send some of these pictures. When the naming ceremony in this CISA Igbo Cultural Festival of Arts and Culture. So many Americans are giving names and they like it, they appreciate it, and they identify with their Nigerian brothers and sisters. So it's always a big hit. Of course, there are traditional festivals, different dances and everything is done there in during this World Igbo Festival of Arts and Culture. But the propagation of culture does not end with the CISA, World Igbo Festival and Arts and Culture. In all the localities in the United States, we try as much as possible to propagate Igbo culture. And when we talk of culture, bear in mind that in most cases, people interweave culture and tradition. Of course, culture is a set of beliefs of the people, the way they do things, their beliefs, their religion, their Christianity, and everything. So communication, they are about culture of a people. So to this effect, then tradition means things that are handed over, things done repeatedly over and over from generation to generation. So these cultures, when handed over from generation to generation, they become tradition. So over here in the United States, the Igbos, or people of Igbo descent, try to propagate this culture as much as possible in various localities. Let me give you an example. For instance, we try to do the New Yam Festival in many communities in the United States. As many Igbo people, and especially you in media, know, New Yam Festival is typically celebrated at the end of rainy season, which involves giving thanks to the deity, the G deity, and the Ama, which prepares people for harvest of the new yams. And many titled people do not, this is not to say that new yams, people who cultivated as early as July, new yams have been all over the market. But many people who believe in tradition, especially titled people, do not taste the new yams until there's this festival of Iriji or Ewaji, depending on the Igbo dialect or locality where somebody comes from. So typically, the way it's done in Nigeria, we try to do it as much as we can here, Ewaji or Iriji. This Ewaji or Iriji involves thanking the ancestors. The way it's done in Nigeria, a symbol of it, symbolic, pouring libations, and then some roasted tubers of yams are caught with the most high-ranking person. That's the way we do it here. And blessing the new yam with all the traditional prayers, and then people taste a little bit of it, thanking the deity, the Anna, and the goddess Earth for the new yam, and begging for, thanking our ancestors for giving us the new yam in the new season. So after the New Yam Festival, within a month or two, the new yams are harvested in Nigeria. So here we do New Yam Festival. For instance, I belonged to this association called Association of Nigerians, Association of Nze, Ozo and Chiefs, ANOC, pronounced ANOC worldwide. In 2019, there was a big hit in Los Angeles area. It's called the Iriji Festival by ANOC Worldwide in Los Angeles. Many traditional rulers from Nigeria were invited. Many traditional rulers. And the hall was full. Everything was agog. So we did it every year. Other communities, we still do it. But I'm talking of the one this major association held. So we try to teach our children and the new generation about these Nigerian cultures, telling them that as titled people, or many people who believe in their chi, goddess chi, their little god, that you do not taste the new yam until the Iriji or Iwaji ceremony is celebrated. Many communities do that. So, but I've spoken about the one we did. Traditional rulers, about 5 of them came, and the new yams were roasted and then baked, if you wish. People shared it. a little bit of it. Of course, there will be now festivals, merriment, dance, and masquerades to usher in the new yams while giving thanks to the deities. So various communities do it in the United States. In Los
Right,
Angeles area here, we don't take it for granted. And
right.
so,
Do
pardon
you
me?
have people who are not Igbos in the US join you people for these cultural festivals? And how do they receive, the cultural change there?
Yeah. One good thing in the United States is, especially among the Western, the Yorubas and the Igbos, we intermingle both when we were college students or in the workplaces. So, so we bridge the gap. We have friends all over. When Yorubas do something, they invite us. Like I said earlier, in their Egungun New Year Festival or the Orisa in their churches, they invite Igbos. And we, in many parties, which I'm coming to that too, during funeral festivals, we invite our Yoruba friends and they come and mourn with us. So same thing in all these, if we celebrate New Yam Festival, yeah, we invite them. So the Nigerian community here, I would say, is kind of is unitary. Igbos and Yorubas, we invite ourselves. So we interchange visits. So during this New Year, yeah, they come and they cherish it. Of course, there'll be dancing, dancing, dancing. Like when I said dances and masquerade display and everything. So it doesn't matter. The Yoruba invitees are friends. They enjoy the New Year festival and everything we do. And I'm coming to other traditional and cultural propagation of Igbos in diaspora here. So when we do the New Yam Festival, yes, the Yorubas come. Do you have more questions before I proceed?
Yeah, I was also going to ask whether beyond the Yorubas that you invite, are there other persons from other parts of the world, whether they are even indigenous of the United States, who find their culture over there fascinating, and they tend to join?
Thank you. Yes, I was talking about Yorubas because of the two tribes in Nigeria. When we do Paris here in the United States, Americans love to come to Nigerian Paris and the events because what we call BYOB, bring your own beer or bring your own little food, which is typical of here. Nigerians, we throw lavishing parties and events. Eat as much as you can, drink as much as you can. And yes, our African American friends and white friends, Nigerians have been here so long, so we have integrated, we have permeated the society, meaning by permeating the society, we have made friends across the board. Arab, Middle Easterners, everything. I have my friend professors who are from Middle East. Most of us, our people in the care profession, doctors, nurses, they're all there in the workplace with people from all over. Indigenous Americans, African Americans, the Caucasians, that's the white, and people from Indians and all over. So we do invite people. I was talking of Yorubas, we don't limit it there. Nigerian parties are known all over. They are very happy to always come. Eat as much as they can, drink as much
Okay.
as they can, and no charges.
Okay. Generally, what benefits do you think these cultural integrations actually have for not just the Igbo culture, or the Yoruba culture, but generally, what benefits does it hold, and what can someone even take away from these cultural activities and integrations?
Yes, I'm glad you used the word cultural integration. Yes, because we've been here so long and we work across in our workplaces, we have people from all nationalities and ethnic groups. So this brings so inviting them over and all these the festivals we create, we throw these parties or events or ceremonies, it has helped a lot. Before, when people of my age came to the immigrated to the United States in the 1970s when we came as college students. Many Americans used to ask us, where is Nigeria? Do people live in houses? When you drive around the freeway, they ask you, the highways, they ask you, do you have roads like this in Nigeria? Because the awareness was not there. They did not know much. But with time, due to this cultural integration, inviting them to our parties and higher education. By the way, Nigerians are among the highest, which I believe you in the media, you know that. Nigerians have been consistently ranked among the most educated ethnic group in the United States for 6 years in a row. So we have produced professors, professionals, doctors, nurses. So with all these invitations and cultural integration, it makes them to be aware. Nigerians are no longer relegated like during the time we first came, when they were thinking people lived in the caves or that there are no freeways or we were living in the huts or thatched houses. So it has helped a lot. That's why many Nigerians are youth. I'm coming to that. These days, last year, my closest friend, their daughter, who graduated from one of the prestigious universities, got
just in case
married.
you...
So the Americans are marrying our children, and our children are marrying Americans. So that's
Absolutely.
the result of the cultural integration. Go ahead.
All right, Mazi, I would love to continue this conversation, but we just have to leave it here. Maybe some other time we would have enough time to discuss further about this cultural integration as it affects diasporans of Nigerian descent. I want to say a very big thank you for your time. We truly appreciate your insights. Mazi Dr. Paul Akamnonu is a professor of leadership studies and a patron Arundiziogo Patriotic and Union North America. Many thanks for your time. I truly appreciate your insight.
Thank you very much. And I want to add too, before we get off, that we do teach a lot of Igbo language to the younger generations. So we propagate this culture. Most of our children here speak Igbo fluently. They can't write it as much, but they do. So we try our best to propagate the culture in the United States. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Many thanks.
Thank you.
Many thanks, sir. I appreciate you. All right, so this is where we live it for.
Signature TV. News in your pocket.